Did you think you were the only one? You really have no idea, do you? You lead the life you live, you think you just jump all over the place, jump, 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 and nothing's gonna happen. But they've noticed. Them. Done that. Hello, boys. Just me then. Huh. It's new.
You shot in 9 different, you got to shoot in all these different cities for this film. Obviously, you had some off time and stuff. What kind of things do you collect when you kind of go to these different cities? What kind of souvenirs do you bring back to?
A lot of bruises on this movie, actually. You collect a lot of physical injury. I think, especially with Doug Liman, he was, I remember in Tokyo, actually, as me and Hayden grappling in the streets of Tokyo on these kind of metal drains. And, take after take after take, we've got this massive safe there as well. And I remember, I fell on my knee awkwardly at one take, and I kind of got up and I was kind of annoyed and I was kind of limping away. And Doug kneeled down on the actual the grilling of the drain. He was like, "Oh yeah, I guess that is kind of painful." So usually it was mostly bruises. We'd come away with some kind of physical injury.
What kind of a director is Doug? Because he seems to be very hands-on and also very intimate. I don't know. Do you like that kind of directing?
Absolutely. No, I love a director with immense passion and borderline obsession about the project. And especially. For a new concept like this, you need a director who's got a lot of energy and a lot of interest in the subject. And also, Doug is like an amazing scientist. I mean, it's crazy what his knowledge about all of this kind of stuff. And also he twists genres all the time. I mean, if you look at the Bourne Identity, I think he single-handedly reinvented the spy genre. I think without the Bourne Identity, we wouldn't have the new James Bond. I think he probably saw the comic book movies and was like, this is something I'm interested in. I want to kind of shake it up a bit, because I think we've had a lot of comic book movies recently, which are all kind of following the same mythology of with great power comes great responsibility, and our movie is much more about with great power comes whatever you want, essentially.
A film like this could have easily gone into very two-dimensional kind of characters and stuff like that. How do you as an actor approach this then, and then make it your own, and even kind of make it more interesting for the audience?
I think, firstly, being able to do the character in my own accent, and I'm from a very specific geographical area of England, the northeast of England, being able to use my own accent, I think, broaden the horizon where the jumpers come from. I think a lot of these comic book characters come from the United States. All of them. I mean, practically all of them, and it's just like, for me, the idea of a superhero coming from my hometown was crazy, but it was a beautiful, romantic idea.
Representing
absolutely,
your people.
Of course, and Doug just let me have free reign over this character, and he's a character who doesn't really invest in the stakes of the movie, and in that sense, he's neither good nor bad, and he's the very fun, energetic character of the movie.
How does one kind of approach the physicality of it then? I mean, did you have to train differently from Hayden? Because obviously the way you approach jumping and stuff is a little bit different. Did you?
I think with Griffin, I think it's the idea that his jumping is carefree. Like, he almost does it without thinking about it, and that was what we wanted to get. We also wanted to get that he's a recluse. This guy has lived in the Sahara Desert his practically his whole childhood life. He doesn't really hang out with people. So the idea that he's somehow kind of infantile in a way, as well as being this kind of brave warrior who's fighting to avenge his parents' death, I think it was an interesting combination. Also, he is a character who follows all the mythology of comic books. He's desperate to be someone's sidekick, and when he meets Hayden's character David, he's reluctant to want to show to him that he actually wants to be his friend and wants to be his sidekick.
In a film like this, where most of your coworkers are kind of in the same age group, was it kind of nice to hang out with them after work, or are you one of those people that kind of go back to your room? I don't know, what kind of...
No, absolutely. I mean, especially with Hayden, I definitely consider him a very close friend now, and we've been in some crazy situations together. The countries that we traveled to together, you build up this companionship, which I think ultimately will show in the film, and hopefully there is a bond there in the movie.
Any favorite cities that you visited?
Absolutely, I love Tokyo. I love Tokyo, and we got to shoot inside the Colosseum, which is, I think, we're the first movie in 50 years that's been allowed to shoot inside the Colosseum, which is amazing. We're probably going to be the last to shoot in there as well. But you know, it's getting to travel to these places, you know, as a life experience at 21 is just amazing.
Well, to be a foreigner in all these different cities also, to kind of almost be anonymous, and what was it like for you to kind of maybe have some time off to walk around Egypt or even go to...
Amazing. We went down to the souk yesterday.
Are you a bit of a world traveler? I mean,
absolutely. I mean, and I'm really affected by different culture, you know, as I think most travelers are, you know. And the fact that I've been traveling since I was 14, you know, it definitely broadens your horizons, and you know, it's a very humbling experience. I've had, you know, nothing but amazing treatment everywhere I've been, especially in Tokyo and Rome when we were there. You know, people, you know, they want to welcome you to their culture, and I think that's a great thing about being an actor, is that you get to be exposed to a lot of them.
One of the nice things about your character is also you get to drive all these vehicles. Are you a bit of a car geek? Or
no, this is the thing. I don't drive. You know, in real life. So it's Doug always had this thing of like, how are we going to make J-Bells, which is my nickname on the set, how are we going to make him look like he knows what he's doing in a Mercedes? But I think that's the great thing about Griffin, is that, you know, he doesn't have to look like he knows what he's doing. I mean, he can be so careless because he can just jump away so instantly, and that was the very fun element about this character.
J-Bells, if you could jump to any city in the world right now that you maybe haven't visited, what would the first place be for you?
Oh. I was asked that a second ago and I didn't know what to say, and I'm stumped yet again. I've never been to Australia, and I've been down to New Zealand, so I've kind of been in that region, but I'd love to go there, and maybe even, you know, somewhere like China, you know, somewhere really, you know, interesting.
The film has the potential to be a franchise film. Are you worried about maybe doing Jumper 2, Jumper 3, or is that something that you're just...
No, I mean, that's always worrying. I guess I didn't think about that one.
No, a franchise.
Yeah,
like loads of money.
No, it's fun. You know, me and Simon Kinberg and Doug Lineman have managed to come up, I think, with a character that is an extension of me in this kind of very ADD kind of way. You know, a very hyperactive, kind of crazy manic person, and actually that's fun to play. And you know, if I get a chance to run around places with Doug again, that'd be great.
We look forward to it. Awesome. Thank you very much.
Man.
It was really talking to you. Thank you.